Hope, a small word with immeasurable power. Hope is what keeps us going when everything else tells us to stop. It's what separates those who persevere from those who surrender to despair. Without hope, we are lost. But with it, we can endure anything. Hope isn't just an emotion. It's a force, a fire that burns within us, even in the darkest times. It is what drives a soldier forward on the battlefield, what makes a struggling student open the book again, what gives a grieving heart the courage to love once more. Tonight, I want to take you on a journey into the nature of hope, its relationship with action, and how Stoicism teaches us to cultivate a hope that is unshakable. Because hope, when understood correctly, isn't about waiting, it's about doing. The false idea of hope and how to fix it. Many people mistake hope for mere wishing. They sit and hope things will get better while doing nothing to change their circumstances. This is where hope becomes dangerous, because hope without action is just an illusion. Imagine a man lost at sea. If he simply hopes to be rescued but does not attempt to swim, build a raft, or signal for help, he will drown. Hope, in its true form, is not about waiting. It's about believing in the possibility of a better future and acting accordingly. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Hope must be grounded in reality. It must be paired with resilience, discipline, and effort. The Stoic view on hope and its limits. The Stoics, unlike modern motivational speakers, were cautious about hope. They knew that excessive hope that is detached from reason, can be just as harmful as despair. Seneca warned about false hope when he said, "Cease to hope, and you will cease to fear." At first, this sounds like the Stoics were against hope. But that's not entirely true. What Seneca meant was that if we place our hope in external things we cannot control, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Instead, the Stoic hope is inward. It is a belief in our own ability to endure, to persist, and to create meaning no matter what happens around us. Stories of hope in the face of adversity. History is full of stories where hope has kept people alive, both literally and figuratively. Viktor Frankl and hope in a concentration camp. One of the most powerful examples comes from Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and the author of Man's Search for Meaning. In the death camps, where suffering was unimaginable, Frankl observed something profound. Those who had hope, those who believed they still had a purpose, were more likely to survive. Hope was not just optimism. It was the belief that they could endure, that there was still meaning to be found even in suffering. Nelson Mandela and hope in a prison cell. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. Yet, despite being locked away, he never lost hope. Why? Because his hope wasn't passive. He didn't just wish for a better South Africa. He dedicated his life to making it happen. The Wright brothers and hope that defied limits. When Orville and Wilbur Wright pursued the dream of human flight, they were ridiculed. The idea of a machine heavier than air flying seemed impossible. But they didn't just hope. They experimented, they failed, they learned, and they kept going. Hope kept them alive. What do all these stories have in common? Hope wasn't just a dream, it was a force that drove action. Hope versus despair, the mental battle. Hope and despair are two sides of the same coin. The difference between them is often just perspective. Two people can face the exact same situation. One will see only obstacles, the other will see possibilities. The mind is where the battle is fought. When things go wrong, you have two choices: give up and let despair consume you. Find a way forward, no matter how small the step. The Stoics teach us that our mind is our most powerful tool. Even if we lose everything, our possessions, our reputation, our status, we still have control over how we respond. How to cultivate resilient hope. If hope is necessary, but blind hope is dangerous, how do we cultivate the right kind of hope? 1. Hope through action. If you're struggling with something, don't just wish for a solution. Start taking steps toward it. Even small actions matter. 2. Hope through perspective. Train yourself to see setbacks as opportunities to grow. Reframe failure as a lesson. 3. Hope through gratitude. Appreciate what you have. Hope grows when we recognize that even in difficulty, there is something to be grateful for. 4. Hope through discipline. The stronger your mind, the more resilient your hope. Build mental discipline through reading, through reflection, through challenges. Conclusion: hope as a way of life. Hope is not a passive feeling, it is an active force. It is the belief that life is worth fighting for, that better days are ahead if we are willing to work for them. The Stoics did not reject hope. They simply refined it. They taught us that real hope is not wishing. It is knowing that we have the power to shape our lives, no matter how hard the road may seem. So as you move forward, ask yourself, what am I hoping for? And more importantly, what am I doing about it? Hope is the reason we stand up after falling. Hope is the reason humanity has progressed. Hope keeps us alive.